meet you. Yeah. How are you doing?
We're doing pretty good. We just got back from a trip to Japan.
Wow.
Association. That was also very enjoyable.
I think Nathan will come too.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Nathan, he will come.
Nathan.
I got into the Zoom too. Yeah.
Well, he's the head of the Kim Foundation, correct?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
You're the head, but he's the executive director. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, great. So is that Nathan?
Yes.
Hi, Nathan.
Hello.
Hello, Nathan.
So let me introduce you to the people here, Kim and Nathan. This is the University of Toledo in Toledo, Ohio, Retirees Association Book Club. And so I don't know if we want to go around and let everybody introduce themselves, but we do have, as I was saying earlier, 3 special guests as well, who are here. First, of course, is my wife, Marilyn.
No, I miss you.
Also have 2 special guests who are John and Julie Abbey, and I think they may have met you before. But they are the head of what's called the Dove Fund, or Development of Vietnam Endeavors, which is a group funded by or started by the U.S. veterans of the Vietnam War at the invitation of a local congresswoman, Marcy Kaptur, and the ambassador to Vietnam under the Clinton administration. And so they have produced this. It's very much similar to yours in some respects, and they focus on doing good works for children. I don't know, John, you wanted to say anything more?
Hi, Kim. Thanks so much. It's an honor. I think we crossed paths in Toronto a number of years ago at a National Geographic presentation there. We believe we didn't meet you personally, but it's an honor to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you. Great.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
To my left is Sarah Metzger. She's the person from the Alumni Association who has set up the things and keeps us all on track. She's a magnificent organizer. And Lance, why don't I let you introduce yourself, and then we'll go around the table.
Lance Talmadge. I'm a retired physician from the faculty here at the University of Toledo.
Nice to meet you.
Tom Mihalis, also retired physician. Thank you for what you've given us. Besides your work, your time and efforts today.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Also retired from the former Medical College of Ohio and was in the Department of Microbiology.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
And I'm following through. I'm another retiree working on the graduate program at the university.
Wonderful.
I'm retired research faculty, Department of Surgery from the Medical College.
Wow. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Retired social worker from the Medical College.
Retired social worker from a competing hospital, Toledo Hospital.
Now we're all one big happy family.
I'm Keith, and I'm retired from the Department of Pharmacology at the Medical College.
I'm Shirley, a retired nurse who belongs to him.
I miss you.
So I explained to them how we met on the trip that we made to Vietnam. And so they have that background. And I'm not quite sure how to just, I think the discussion will sort of just develop organically. But, your foundation and its work are quite remarkable. And I wondered if you might start by giving us an update on what the foundation is doing currently.
Right. Yeah. Thank you so much, first of all. And it's just an honor for me to be a part of your class. And yes, I'm so thankful. Uh, most of you know about where I come from and what happened to me. And yes, I was a victim of war many years ago, like, oh yeah, 51 years ago. And
Mhm.
I am so thankful that to be alive and learning how to move on, how to work for peace because of my experiences. And also because of my experiences, I learned to know the values of love, of hope, and forgiveness. And that is the Kim Foundation. Is it's the proudest from all that is experiences. Um, and because I stay in the hospital for a long, long time, I I really want to, like 14 months in the hospital. And I went through 17 operations. Then the doctor and nurses, they were inspired me so much that I built up a dream. And that little girl have a dream that I want to become a doctor when I growing up. And I want to help people like they help me then. And so I just make my dream big, and I wanted to keep my dream alive by helping other people. And that is the point is that from the Kim Foundation established is that helping other children. And because it's unfortunately my dream I couldn't achieve as a doctor, but uh, I want to keep my dream alive by uh, establish the Kim Foundation and to help. That is the way that I can help other children around the world. And so our mission, we really want to focus on education, like building the school, um, and then hospital, and then orphanage home, and the library for children.
Mhm.
And that kind of, for me, also right now, I'm as a UNESCO Goodwill Ambassador. So I just really standing for education for all, for the children, for the adults, and every kind of uh, ages. And we still learning and encourage them to learn. And I think that is really help everyone uh, just be feeling better and get a better life and by learning. And that is my focus. And that is the Kim Foundation. We used to be a partner with another foundation, um, and then, for example, in the past, we partner with Save Children. Maybe you know that Save Children in the United States. They yeah, save the children, and then
Mhm.
the Doctor Without Border, and
Mhm.
then we have a Library for Children Foundation International, and then we partner with High Adventure Foundation as well. So that is, I am so happy to tell you, that's our mission.
Now, when we talked to you last fall during the trip, you were focusing on children in Ukraine, if I remember correctly.
Correct. Maybe Nathan, can you explain all that the process? So you have a
Sure.
chance to talk.
Just to give a quick introduction, my name is Nathan, and I work for the Kim Foundation as Kim's administrative assistant. So I get to deal with a lot of the behind the scenes working of what goes on. So Kim's role so far with Ukraine, there haven't been any projects directly working with placement or anything of that kind. Nothing initiated by the foundation, but Kim was overjoyed to be invited by a fairly wealthy philanthropist who owned I believe it was a 787 jet, a jumbo jet, and he decided that he was going to use his wealth not just to enjoy it for himself, but to try to help people in need. And so he somehow initiated projects where he was able to fly refugees from various places in the world, particularly in this case, Poland, Ukrainian refugees who had managed to get to Poland. He was giving them opportunity to relocate to places that were more stable. Now, Canada had opened its borders, thankfully, to help the refugees. And so he approached Kim and asked her if it would be okay with her for him to print her famous picture on the side of his airplane as a large, rather large sticker, and with the words "No War" in English and then again in Ukrainian, and invited her to join on the flight to welcome the refugees and to accompany them on the trip from Poland to, I believe the first trip was to Saskatchewan, and then also there have been other trips, I think to Newfoundland, to possibly Manitoba. Kim has been able to join him. His name's Enrique Pinheiro. He's an Argentine-Italian man, and she's been able to join him on 3 flights. Each flight, I believe, bringing about 236 refugees to each of the different provinces. And in each case, they are greeted by the community there, and they're given housing and they're given education as needed, and they just try to plug them into a support system, as I understand, to get their lives restarted, learning the language. And so Kim's been able to be at the entrance of the plane greeting people and giving them hugs and just having her presence there to encourage them in this new journey that they're coming from a very difficult situation and looking for how to start life over again. So that's been Kim's opportunity to assist in this very sad time with Ukraine.
Thank you for that explanation. So kind of sticking with the foundation for just a little bit more, and then I do want to open it up for other people to talk. I shouldn't talk the whole time. Which is in the book, you mentioned that you were having some trouble with the Vietnamese authorities in terms of setting up school programs over in Vietnam. Have you had any more success since the book was published in dealing with the Vietnamese officials?
Right. For me, from my heart, I don't have any I don't have any problem with the Vietnamese government. And my husband and I, and we went to Vietnam in our province, Tây Ninh. So I found a place, I found the people who really want to do for us in the local, to do 2 orphanage homes in Tây Ninh. Then in order we can do that, we have to ask permission, the license from the government. So we started to do, and wow, unfortunately, they make so many difficult. And then we wait for 1.5 years. Then the last answer that they say there is no need. And be honest, it broke my heart. I see how much so great needs for children there, but the government say there is no need with us, with me. And then I be honest, I couldn't wait for longer. So that's why we moved to India. That's why now we have the orphanage home, Emmanuel, right? In
Emmanuel Orphanage.
yeah, yeah, right. In
Kerala, India. Kerala,
in Kochi, yeah, in
Kochi.
Kochi, yeah, south of India. So we have about 160 orphanage home right now, and we continue to support them and help them to, go to school, building the building for the boys and transportation and all kind of that they need. And then I still have a dream to build the library for children. Also, as I share with you, then of course I really wanted to build the library for children in Trang Bang, where we visit, right, where they drop the bomb, and right in my village. And I have connection with the CEO, Chad. He's have a license to build a library for children in Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam. So he's a very good on that project, and that is great. When I met him and we all work together, and so with my name, I have to be aware, be careful about. I'm not do anything relate in Vietnam. I raised money in United States for that project. Then Jack, he went to the Trang Bang district, and in that time in 2019, then the government, in the local government, they agree everything. They show the land, they sign a contract, everything. That's why we started to United States and Canada. We raised money and we have everything. We were about to go to build to make the construction in Trang Bang. Then the pandemic came along. Yeah. And so everywhere it just shut down. So we have to hold that project. Then last year, 2022, okay. So when the everywhere opened the door, and so Chuck went back to Vietnam and talked with the committee, committee in Trang Bang. We have to let them know when we can go back properly. Then yeah, the gentleman who signed with the contract, everything, he left. He not there longer, no longer there. Then they replaced with a new gentleman, and so that gentleman, he refused. He not allow us to build the library in that land that the government agreed with. And I said, oh, I don't know. But because he has the reason, he told Chuck, we not longer with that contract. Sorry. And then finally, okay, they not agree with us to build in Trang Bang the library for children. So Jack have to move to the center. And he told me that they build in Bình Định, really in the center, not in my village anymore. So you know what? I heard that. My heart is broken. I burst into tears. I cry out loud. But I think anyway, it's still in Vietnam. So I agree. And then we started to build the library. And then last February, I went back to dedicate it, the library, and hand over to the school for the student, and that is make me happy again. So that's why I still for me, my end, no problem, but at their end, I don't know how they do that. It's not in my control, and so I wish in the future it get much better with the situation. Yeah, that is the process that I just reported to you, and and then like wherever I go, it welcome, but Vietnam, I don't know why, and so I never been in Vietnam to share the whole my story. uh, yeah, not yet. I hope one day.
Yeah, you might run into trouble with some of the communist authorities. My impression when I went over there is that now the government sort of has made a deal with the people, which is that you can earn a lot of money, go into business for yourself, but you can't criticize the government. That's sort of, yeah, and if you were to tell your whole story, that would have to be involved.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the update on the foundation's work, and I will let people know how they can donate to it. You do have a link, a website, and I'll forward that around to the people that are here today and the other people in the book club, so they know how to help support your good work. And
Thank you.
yeah, so and some of the this is what I got as a thanks for my donation. So if you donate, maybe you get your own poster as well.
How she's feeling.
Oh, okay. Well, you ask her how she's feeling. I want to open it up and let other people talk.
Oh, Kim, how are you feeling these days? How is your health?
Actually, wow, this year I turned 60, and it's a 60, and my birthday in April 6th. Okay, but I don't know. I got really, my health is going down since January. I got so much cough, and I lost my voice, and it just took me longer time to heal. And then even I went to Vietnam for dedication, the library, I just still coughing, but it's not COVID, not at all, just coughing like that. And but I keep going. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I got sick, coughing, and I just try my best. I have to tell you, is at the end of May, I will have another laser treatment for scars. And of course, I just looking for getting better every day because of the weather, and like the scar, I still have pain, but not much as before, because I had been through 12 laser treatments already. Now is the 13th time. I hope that get better. Yeah. I always say they barbecue me all over.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
They barbecue me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope it goes goes well. I'm also wondering how your sons are doing, your boys, Thomas and Stephen.
Yes,
Are
Thomas.
they well?
Yeah, Thomas. He's with us to this time because they coming back to Canada to have another child, and so
Oh.
Thomas gave us have given us 3 grandchildren, 2 boys and 1 girl. Yeah, the baby just about 1 month now.
Oh,
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So they want the children to be born in Canada?
Probably maybe that. Yes, I think so. And because my daughter-in-law, maybe she has a problem with the pregnancy, so they have to go home to Canada to get the baby. That is a much better, yeah. And so they return, and then maybe next September or October they have to return to Indo. Yeah. And
Where
my
are they now?
Stephen, pardon?
Where
Indonesia.
are they now?
Indonesia.
Indonesia.
Jakarta. In Jakarta.
Oh, that's a long way away.
That's
So-
right. And Stephen still in Dallas, Texas. Yeah.
My-
And yeah, now I'm still praying for Stephen because he still not have the green card yet. So that's why he cannot return to Canada. He have to stay there until he got the green card. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, well, we've taken up a lot of your time, so I would like other folks to have a chance to ask their questions.
Thank
Yes.
you. Try to take this an octave lower, but all the good news, but how did you go through the shadow of the valley of death and just your resiliency, you know what I mean, to just not give up, where it would have been so easy to say, this is it. I'm just not going to push any further. I mean, because there's so many people who would be inspired. And of course, you don't have to go to the Ukraine to find people who would find that helpful today. You can find them in Toledo, Ohio.
Right. Wow. I think that is number one. I have to be thankful to learn. As the beginning, I say, and I learned that and to move on with the positive way because I have faith. I believe in Jesus Christ, and that is a relationship. For me, I'm not focused on the religion, but a relationship. And so when I was able to move on when I was 19, because before 19 years old, I had been in a really dark time, dark place. And I always had the idea, take my life. And then I was really disappointed, my life, my situation, and dealing with hatred, bitterness, and anger. I learned that I look back when I was 9, I suffered with 4 bombs. And all my body got burned like that. That is only physical. And then later on in the post-war, I suffer with so much inner like emotional pain, the spiritual pain, everything. And when I dealing with the big challenges that about hatred and bitterness, and I've been there so long enough that I really wanted to move on. I didn't want to stay in that level anymore. And then you read my book and you know that is one thing in me, I have that searching. I just have the question, why me? What the purpose in my life? Why I have to suffer that much, and why I didn't die? And why I have to suffer again and again and again? I said, no way. And then that is the bottom line is I seeking, searching the purpose, the answer, and finally I found it. That is a hope I found. And then I learned step by step. I move out of that situation with that darkness, negative and everything, depression and everything. And I didn't want to go back again. That is my point. I didn't want to go back with that. I just move on, try to move on, try to learn. And even daily, I never allow me to think about negative anymore. Something come up to me out of my control. Yes, I was so fearful. But immediately I say, oh, that not situation, just go, move on and thinking about positive. I give you one example. In 1995, in my book, the journalist found me again in Toronto street. Yes, my husband and we with my little Thomas in the stroller, we walked on the street, and I saw with my own eyes there was a lady. She have the camera with a long lens. She focused on me. She took my picture, and I just suddenly I saw her point to me, but then I just scared. Yes, I scared. But then immediately in my mind, oh, Toronto, there are so many tourists. Why you worry about that? Why you just scared about someone take your picture? And then I just move on. I didn't let any negative stay long in my mind. And that is helped me a lot. And then, yeah, at the point that I just move on and think, and of course, yes, that is so real. The pain comes to me very often. And every time the pain come to me, before I hated it. I just really bitter and almost give up. But then after the turning point in my life, every time the pain comes to me, I just pray, God, give me strength. Give me enough strength that I can carry on today. Tomorrow you give me another strength and another faith, another blessing, another new new news. And everything just I just like that. And I practice every time something wrong come in, and I just come and solve the problem. Never get me angry anymore. Even I didn't respond quickly right away, but take time and calm me down, and I just looking for like in my mind always peace and joy. And that's why right now, how many years I practice daily in order I can maintain hope and peace and joy in my life. Even of course you live enough to understand, to know that life is not easy. Always something coming along. But for me, I'm not surprised anymore. Something coming for me, I say, oh, another thing, God help me, give me strength, give me a wisdom, give me a patience, give me compassion to deal with it. And everything it come along with peaceful. I just keep smiling. And that is so good. And I have so many stories that how can I deal with. One time in Ohio, yeah, I went there with the event. They invited 3 of us. One is for forgiveness, like me, and one is reconciliation from the professor from Ohio. No, from Hawaii, and one lady about angry in you remember in Oklahoma when they put the bomb and kill some.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the lady who has a daughter was killed in that bomb, and she had to take care of her granddaughter. And I remember, I unfortunately I don't remember all the name, but the the story I remember. After I share my story, she stood right in at the door when I got out. She got so angry with me. She said, "I'm not accepted that. I cannot agree with you. I cannot forgive the people who killed my daughter." And I said, "Oh." Then I say, "Ma'am, can we have a dinner tonight and we can sit down and talk?" Then I have to invite the professor from Hawaii, reconciliation, his his topic, and 3 of us talk. And you know what? She's so angry at the beginning. She not agree with me. How can I learn to forgive? And she got so many questions to me. And I remember one question she asked me: how do you feel if your children got deformity? Because I got the napalm burn and then a chemical, you know. And then she asked me that question: if my children got deformity, how you feel? And you know, wow, it's a tough question because if I don't know how to answer. And then but I just pray. I say, God help me. And then I answer her, you know, I never thought about negative. I accepted the situation that happened to me when I was 9, and I have to learn to, you know how much I hated my picture, but now I embrace it and I learn to move on, and that is helped me. And be honest, I never thought about negative that my children got deformity. And not allow myself as a mother thinking about negative for my children. But you say, if, if, and then I say, okay, if that happened, I have to learn to accept, because that is out of my control.
Yeah.
I cannot control what happened to my child, but I can control my mind and my heart. I never thought about negative to my children. And I draw the beautiful picture of my child. I don't know boy or girl, no, not yet. But during the time pregnancy, I just draw beautiful picture of my child, and healthy and intelligent and all the beautiful on that picture. I never draw negative if something wrong. And if something wrong, I have to accept it. That she just quiet. She just quiet. And then I let the gentleman reconciliation to tell her. And at the end, wow, you can see my point, my face, my face, my face. I just really uh happy, joyful. But she it's really hard for her to change her mind, her face, and the way she say. Is very angry person. And I just love her. I say, right now it's so hard for you to accept it, my situation, my lesson, but that is the way we do as a human being. I cannot go back to live in the past, but I can learn from my past. And that is how it makes me move on and embrace it. And because I know the value of peace, I know the value of love and the hope and forgiveness, that helped me so much. And then I can help others. And of course, it's very difficult the beginning, but the more I practice, the easier I can do. And that is like exactly culture of peace. I cannot change that overnight or 1 week or 1 month or even 1 year, but daily I can do that like that. So that's why you may ask John during the time in the cruise ship, always smiling and talking with people. And, I love people. That is the way I did.
That was obvious, yeah. Yeah, your ability to forgive is remarkable given all the pain that you've suffered. And certainly your Christian faith is important in that, as you put forth in the book. I was wondering if there are any other factors that in your background that you think contributed to your ability to forgive, maybe your family, maybe your previous religion. In any case, are there other factors that you think sort of helped you accept what is and forgive those who have, quote, trespassed against you?
Yeah. The beginning, I remember my family is very, very difficult. Well, after they lost everything, and of course they survived, but then I was raised in the Taoist religion. So yes, that is really important for them with that faith. And I think you know a little bit about Taoist. The religion at they gathered all together, all together. It's like 1,000 gods, whatever they name on the list, we worship them. That kind of. And then I was raised in religion for as like 4 generations. And I think it's because of that's why I struggle with the thing I learned from that religion. And I was really devoted in that religion. But at the end of the day, I didn't have any peace, any change. Even I tried so much, but I just wonder why it never not helped me at all. But then, that is the one thing in the spiritual. Then about the reality, yes, because I became a victim of war, I was under child, hurt child from my generation at 9 years old. And I received a lot of love from the doctors, nurses, teachers, family around me. And so one thing in my heart I because I had a dream in my mind, and then I never take it for granted. When they love me, I just didn't care what they love me, but I take serious. I study a lot. I study a lot, and then they offer me a lot of help. That is the love, compassion of the people who are around me is really helped me to move on to in the background at the beginning. And like one thing I have to tell you, I never get to my mom's kitchen to learn how to cook. I just know how to eat. I never learned how to eat, how to cook, because in her kitchen, it's really hot. Can you imagine the weather in the South? It's really hot and hotter. But my mom, wow, she's a great blessing for us. She sacrificed, work hard, she do everything. And then, like everyone loved me and said, okay, you don't have to cook. I cook for you. And then, okay, that's fine. And so, but I never take it for granted. I study. Even studying, it's not easy for me to concentrate to finish my homework earlier than another. And I remember growing up at a teenager, I had so much what I call low self-esteem. I always put the long sleeves blouses, like just like cover my scars. Nobody knew that outside of the village, or just my family know that I got burned badly. But then I went back to school. I always wear the long sleeve. Yeah, and then I try my best. Never, never, never take it for granted, and that is really helped me. But I think is maybe that is a destiny that my picture bring me back again. But you know what? I learned that the government can use my picture, and everyone can use my picture. It doesn't matter to me. But when they touch my privacy, that's a big deal. That's a big challenge. I didn't agree with that. I say, let me alone. I just want to fulfill my career, my studying. I need to finish it. But they say, nope, you are so important now. You have to obey us, to go back to the province to work with us. And I say, I didn't know how to work. I just want to be a student to finish my, I want to become a doctor so badly, but they didn't care what I wanted. So since that time in 1982, wow, my life is just so like ups and down. And I think is the most the really low point in my life is when the government cut short my study. Yeah. Every teenager, every student in the world, like now I cannot imagine the girl in Afghanistan when the government just not allow them to go to school. I understand that how hard it is because I've been there. Yeah, so, different situation, but the same problem. I'm not allowed to go to school anymore, and that is I feel bad. and I don't know how we can help them to consider about different kind of law. Let them go to school, because the school education for me is the most important in our life. We can make a different life and by learning something. Yes, please.
Yeah, Kim, how is your perception of America, including the military, changed over time?
For me, as a little girl, when I be honest, in my book, I I like I became a victim at, and I growing up, I didn't think much about politics, about military in United States. And as a child, when I got hurt so badly, sometimes it's unbearable. I pass out. And when I still know, I just cry. But then I growing up, uh, like Tunisia, like up to now, for me, um, yes, I have one time I hated everyone, uh, included my Vietnamese government, included America, included my life, my own life. I hated it because why me? Why I have to suffer that much? But then I thank God, I faith, and I learned, and I never think about bad about America, military, and the people. I love people, but of course, even now, every day when I wake up, I pray for America. I cry. I pray for America. I love people. That is how, and the reality. I met so many Vietnam veterans. I love them. Keep in touch with them, and share my story and encourage them to tell their story to me. I can help somehow. Some of them, yes, tell the story, change. And some of them not. They say, I just want to take that to my tomb. I don't want to tell anyone. And I say, that's not a good idea, because you have to relieve that. Help me. And you can help yourself, you can help your wife, you can help your children and grandchildren, because that not good in the past. That because that, and I always say to them that uh you know the war, we all became a victim. I am Vietnam. I'm from Vietnam. I'm a little girl. I suffer with that war. But you, as soldiers, you became a victim as well, but different way. So we need to help each other. That is how it's from heart. We need to help each other to move on. Cannot just live that way forever. Yeah, that is how my heart to the America, and especially military, because that is we cannot do anything.
Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. I love you. Yeah.
Well, you have gone through a remarkable set of events and stages in your life. And I was wondering if, there's a Yiddish phrase. Yiddish is a language spoken by the Ashkenazi Jews in Europe. It's kind of a variation of German, and it goes Man tracht und Gott lacht, which means man plans and God laughs. I was wondering given all that you've gone through, whether you would agree with that.
You know, like some sound is lost. I couldn't catch up all the idea.
Well, there is a saying in Yiddish, which is a language spoken by the Ashkenazi Jews of Europe who lived in Germany, and so it's a variation of German. And it goes man tracht und Gott lacht, which means man plans and God laughs. If that makes any sense. You know, and I'm wondering whether you'd agree with that, and then what is your next plan?
You know, like that idea. Everyone have their own opinion. I cannot change their opinion, but for me, I can tell about the point of view from my experiences about my own life, and I can tell you relate with the thing you just mentioned. Man make a plan and God bless, right? It's something like that. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Like my case, people fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Right? People, they fighting, and they cause my suffering. Before that, I just think, why God allow me to suffer that much? I asked myself, why? Where are you, God? And then because I learned from religion that God is love. Okay. And I didn't accepted that. But then I learned. Men fighting with men. They are in trouble. Why they not blame the man? And you blame God. God didn't do that. God gave them freedom, the free will to make a choice. You love each other or you fight each other. That is your choice. The people fighting each other and they blame God, it's not right. For me, just thinking, right? and now I can see God love in my life. I supposed to be really bad in situation as a victims of war. And you see, yes, I went through a real so much pain and on and on and on. It's the man make it. But for me, in my privacy, my personally, if God not in it, I will stay with the same situation for the rest of my life. Never get hope, never get healed, never learn how to love people, never have compassion in my life. I just ask, they did it to me. I have to treat people like the people treat me like that. But I thank God in that point, because his love, he changed my heart because I asked him and I trust him and I obey what I have to do. So those elements, it changed my heart, changed my point of view, and changed my attitude, my behavior. Turn from hatred to love, from angry to forgive, and all kind of that is now the same person, a little girl, napalm girl, up to now 60 years old, the lady from that little girl. But completely my life changed. my attitude is completely changed to look the world with different point of view. And even right now, Putin, the thing is happened, is broke my heart. I cry a lot, and I pray every single day that God just soften his heart, and the people who work with him soften his heart, their heart, so they can see the consequences that they are doing, killing people. Always have the consequences. And that is, I changed my heart is in that such way. So for me, yes, he has able to change all the things if you seeking him with all your heart. And like my opinion about, yes, God, God, he allowed that happen, but man make all kind of plan, but God had God bless people who seeking him with all their heart, just like that little girl. I seeking God with all my heart. I just ask, where are you, God? Before that, I doubt about God. Do you exist? God. People just make that word to worship. But where are you? You allow that little girl suffer that much. I had been there. But now I see that it's so true. It's so true. If without God bless, I'm not in here to talk with you the way I'm talk with you. You see that really true. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I don't know if anybody has any last questions they want to ask before we tie things up.
In your foundation, as you're trying to work on a project, build a library or a school or what have you, I assume that you sometimes run into corrupt government officials and what have you that tend to block that. How do you deal with those kind of issues in your foundation as you're trying to establish that benefit for the community, and you run into these roadblocks?
Yes, that is the most challenges for me. Exactly that happened in Afghanistan very earlier. I think it's more than the time in Afghanistan, because I really want to help children with a mind in Afghanistan, and they not allow me to get into Afghanistan if I'm not wearing, because I'm a woman. And absolutely, they didn't give me into Afghanistan. It's just, my heart is just really broken. And sometimes it might tied up. I cannot do anything. And I really want to help in Cambodia. But I learned that I cannot trust the government. The people who get in, because I didn't have a good contact with the people who real work for the children. And so I have to find another way to do. Like in Vietnam, I have to move on. I cannot, because in it is really challenging for me. It's sad, but I have to learn to accept that and to move on where the people really need help, and they willing for us to help them. Yeah. And then keep in touch, trust people who, that's why the reason why I have to travel so much, to go exactly the place, to see their need and to see the real project. And I bring the project back to our foundation, Kim Foundation, to talk about that. And then they voted. And then I'm the one who raised money to help them. Like, yeah, that is how we do. Yeah. It's a really, yeah, with your question, I have to, you know, it's sad. Is I know that challenges for me, I couldn't get into that place to help children, but I learned that I cannot be stuck there forever. I have to move on. Yeah, to get move on. Yeah.
Well, again, thank you so much. I really were honored by your presence
Yes.
today, and it really made reading your book more interesting, and you know, shed some light on some of the issues that we've read about. So again, thank you. And
Thank
I
you
will
so much.
Oh, it's our pleasure, and I will share information about how to contact the foundation with the other people that are in the book club.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us as well and for making things happen. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I love this kind of talk and share. And you are so wonderful to listen to me. And I'm sorry, it's so emotional. And yeah, touching with those things is so real. And the reality that after the Vietnam War, right now facing with the Ukraine people, wow, it's so hard. So hard. It's seen 24 of February last year. My mom and I just, we cry so much about the people, and because all the image, all the thing in our mind, in our heart, it just brought back how much people suffering, running out from chaos, from war, and continue, not stop. It looked like deep in that, oh my soul. And it's a tough type to facing with. Yeah. And I hope that maybe we can do something, at least something to help. And I count on you, and we can do more, whatever, until our last breath. And for me too. So I wish you all the best, and enjoy afternoon, and God bless.
God bless. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.